number 21, Mike Janelle, Hammond, Indiana. And over there, number 22, Solomon Disco, from Little Rock Fire Department in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Come on, Mike!
As we indicated earlier in this newscast, this is National Fire Safety and Prevention Week.
That's right, and while many kids are learning about surviving the flames, others are out there battling blazes for a living. Orly Greenberg's here now with tonight's in-depth report on firefighting in Northwest Indiana. Welcome, Orly.
Thank you, Tom. Tom is right. Firefighting is a full-time job, and not only that, it's a hard one. We were invited by the Hammond Fire Department to come and join the ranks just for a day and to see if we could handle it. So I gave it a try. I gave it a good try, and I can honestly report that firefighting is not easy.
It's not for everyone. It's something I think that's inborn, and you got to have the heart for it. It's not something that everyone can do, but if the people that do it, they're usually there for the long haul.
They don't realize what we do on the station. They think we come here and sit all day and go to bed at night and get up and go home, which is not the case. We're busy all day long.
So we decided to see if they were right. Yesterday we strolled into the Hammond Central Fire Station just after 8 a.m. to get to work. And work we did. Right away I received a rag and bucket and began scrubbing away at the trucks. But first I was scolded for being late, saying that if I was late again I would be sent home without pay. I knew then that the Shift 1 fire crew members were serious about this experiment. So away I scrubbed.
8 o'clock test call comes. They leave, go downstairs, they check the rigs out, check the radios out, clean the rigs, all the tools, equipment is checked, floors are washed, and usually around 10 o'clock they come back up for breakfast.
Oh, I knew it was going to be hard. That's why I did it. I think it's very challenging. You know, to save a life, I think is probably the most rewarding thing that anybody could do.
So like everybody else, I did clean and I did have my breakfast, but that wasn't all. After a brief bit to get my bearings together, they put me in gear and put me to work. The Hammond Fire Department has multiple training grounds at their facility, and they are used to simulate any and all possibilities in a fire.
The rigs either come in here or we go out and do training. We have a hazmat training coming up this month, which will consist of confined space.
Through technology, training, and education, I think that we've come a long way.
Do you feel better about sending your guys out every day?
No, I don't, because there's still a lot of unknowns.
Yeah, I have a lot to learn. Every day you're learning something new. It's great. I love it. Every day's different. Every call you go on is different. It's an adrenaline rush.
So we went to see how much adrenaline I had. First to the training simulated smokehouse. Its black walls simulate a sooted-up house, the soot, of course, from a house fire. Here, firefighters need to crawl around and to find their ways in and out of the building. First we went through with lights.
This is a window. It simulates a window.
Ow.
This is to simulate missing floorboards in a house, whereas all that's shown is the floor joists. And what we actually would have underneath there would probably be the basement. But this is a way for guys to learn how to get across this stuff. It's going to take a while because it's going to be pitch black and you're going to be feeling the walls, and that's how you find your way around in a fire. You're feeling the walls, and when you feel a doorway, well, that's when you...
And when you feel heat.
You feel heat. you might want to back out. What we have here is we have a low ceiling to simulate maybe an attic. So you can't stand up, you got to stay low, and you want to crawl and follow the walls when you go through it.
Okay.
This simulates the fact that floor joists give out, everything goes in a V pattern. If you're crawling in a house, you might have this same effect. So what we're teaching the guys is, when you feel this, you know, it's not the end of the world, but you do need to watch what you're doing. The guys feel what it's like to go through confined space with an air pack on, because you're going to be in you'll have an air pack on, and you're in a small area, and it's not like you can just go through it, you know, and just crawl like you're a little baby to get on your stomach. Crawl on your elbows. You're having second thoughts, aren't you?
I couldn't stop now. I had to go through the house like a real firefighter. First, I got the air pack on, and then I went through the house in the dark.
Okay, keep going.
I couldn't finish the house. The weight was unbearable, and even though it wasn't hot outside, the equipment was turning my skin into boiling water. So then they decided to give me something a little easier. So I rappelled off the fire truck ladder. The ladder extends up to 100 feet or 10 stories high. That job was easier, but of course I had some factors involved. I had less equipment on, I wasn't involved in a fire or above one, and I had 5 large firemen aiding my safe return.
Say we have water tanks in our city, and you could get guys trapped inside a water tank where the only access to them might be through a hole in the top of the tank. So we would do rappelling to rescue them.
And while some of it looks like it's fun, there is still a lot of work and real firefighting going on that we don't see.
It can be a fun type of job. You play around, you kid each other a lot, and a lot of that is just to take off the edge, because if you thought about your next call, or you thought about maybe the blood and guts, if you will, from the last call, it would bother you.
If firefighters' work isn't just fighting fire anymore.
No, in fact, it's been becoming more and more EMS as time goes on. The public kind of demands that, but it's just a fact of life now. A few guys that were burnt pretty bad, and that was, I don't know, nothing that you ever see before, you know.
You just keep going?
Yeah. You just kind of block it out and remember how you were trained and just get the job done.
I've seen bad car accidents. I've seen people die in fires. I've seen our own firemen die in fires. I've seen, you know, there's a lot of bad stuff that happens. You just got to stay up.
And they all need to stay up because the edge is always there. At any given day, the fire department receives 14 to 18 calls, and last year they had up to 1,400 engine calls. And while the firemen are still putting out these fires, they stress that education is the best prevention.
Fire safety's for everyone, but we really like to stress to the kids that, you know, how to get out of a house if there's a fire, how to, you know, plan to get out before it happens, you know, get with their family and know how to get out, call the fire department. Don't try to do things yourself. Let us come in and do our job. That's what we're here for.
Hammond Chief Lou Cavelli tells us that his station is run semi-military style. He says that it's important since when a crew arrives at a fire, there's absolutely no time to question authority or direction, especially when someone's life is at stake. Cavelli added that many fire stations have a similar military-style structure, but that Hammond is more strict than others. And it was. They put me right to work. They didn't.
It seems like you really have a newfound respect. Would that be safe to say?
Well, yeah, I do. They really go through a lot. I mean, with the tank and the jacket and the pants and the boots and everything on, I was wearing about 70 pounds. So, I mean, I lug the equipment here, but it's nothing like I don't go through confined spaces with my camera and anything like that. So, it was hard.
Not an easy field to do.
No, so congratulations to them, because I couldn't do it.
Thank you, Orly.
No problem, thank you.
Well, I'll tell you what, making it even harder was this muggy weather we've been having, I'm sure.
It's a good thing it was cool, because with all that gear on, Orly would not be back here this evening, I'll tell you that, if it was 70, 75, or even 60. But it's going to be that way for a while, especially in the night when it gets extremely cool. Here's Michael Palmer to tell you the story.